Hey guys, it's Talking coming at you with another game of hardcore Minecraft. And, a new day dawns. Sad what happened at the end of the last video, but, just gotta go forward with it and try not to make those same mistakes. But not gonna forget about all of the good things that we've got going on. So what we want to do is the birch slabs. We just need slabs for a composter, and then I'm going to auto smelt a bunch of organic material into bone meal. So the nice thing about this, hey Garuda, here's a nice little seed. So, shield in the offhand, I've placed it somewhere. I will just grab another one. Fortunately, I have just an absolute ton of shields due to economic history. So what we'll do here is struggle mightily to close the door. Our beloved parrot's hanging out on our shoulder, so that's good. So, when you already have the auto furnace built, you can just crack the furnace. And now we'll just place the composter there, and into the top now we'll just place all of the various organic materials. And I'm pretty sure that it can do bamboo, but I'm not actually positive, but it'll do this pretty quick. This is also like a way that you could theoretically farm a little bit of experience if you stood around a lot of these, because every time that bone meal comes to the bottom, you can get some experience. Sometimes from the composter it'll shoot it out, but not like a ton. But what we're going to do is find a place for the cherry tree. It doesn't really matter. Not because it doesn't matter, it does matter, but because the thing that doesn't matter is this first cherry tree, because we're just going to be cutting it down, and I left the iron hoe in here, which I'm actually the stone hoe, which I'm actually directly going to need. So we'll probably just put the cherry tree just anywhere that it would fit. The thing about cherry trees is they have to have a lot of space around them, or even with bone meal they won't grow. Space around them meaning space directly above them. So having established that where we're at doesn't matter, I just now need to find a place that's got enough space around it, which will be right here on top of the house. Alright, that's 5 bone meal. It's gonna grow soon. It says that it's still at stage 0, so maybe it's not going to grow soon. But I'm pretty sure that just one single dirt block is all that it'll need to grow. But since we're here, we might as well do a little bit of nice calm farming. My favorite thing to do in the game is to hit pumpkins with axes and then hit melons with axes. That's what really makes me feel like everything is the way it's supposed to be. Which will be nice after the tension of the last video. I'd spent so long just hanging out that I had almost forgot that I needed to make better choices at night, but that'll be alright. It'll be okay. I got a lot of the things that I needed to get. And we even ended up solving the iron problem a little bit. I wish I would quit being such a bad farmer, but again, we still do have many more of the gourds than we can efficiently farm, so it doesn't matter that I'm sort of screwing up the rows. I'd actually say it doesn't matter at all. And it may be that having one with a whole star of empty space around it is the ideal, so that we're not actually messing up too much of the progression, but I would need to make a much more focused study of all of that. But there, so we've got basically a full trade stack That's not probably the proper term. Anyway, there's only a limited amount of trades that a villager can do of any one thing, and that's, either 12 or 16. It does vary. Some of them are 12, some of them are 16. I thought they were all 16 for a while, so I was surprised, but some of them are definitely 12. But it looks like, yeah, we're coming on nightfall again, so there's a happy little villager dude. That one looked like he was just wearing sort of default brown robes, so perhaps he was born in a slightly different place. And speaking of a slightly different place, we're just going to lay down right here. This is the bed in the middle. We're going to remember that so that we don't break anybody else's stuff. The pets will forgive us for not coming home immediately. After all, we're just in the middle of this, and oh no. Normally I would want to give them the bread, but I actually do need to have the bread because it is the food source that I've got right now. And that villager is just sort of like greeting the new day. Hanging out, staring at the sun. And then I'm going to run up behind him and say, hey, do you remember the cake, the celebration of our great economic ties? Now trade me various valuable gemstones in return for a field of stuff you see in front of you. And of course, he's honor bound to agree, which is pretty nice. And now up to 30 emeralds again. And you know what that means. That means my nearly broken Aqua Affinity helmet will be able to be retired. And we will have the triumphant ascension to being totally blue. Witness me! Now this is the last suit I'll ever wear. I mean, look at it. I matched the parrot. Very wonderful. Come, buddy, sit upon my shoulder. Alright, he doesn't want to sit on my shoulder. That's okay. Oh no! I'm sorry. I just wasn't close enough to shear them, and then I thought, oh, maybe it's the other key, even though I knew it wasn't. The sheep is not too upset. I just sort of like bonked him a little bit with the shear. I want to get other wool colors. There's a lot of stuff I could do now that I'm home. There's probably some random wheat somewhere, but I figured I would just do this because I do know that I'm going to need a lot more cows, just a lot of leather, because while I did end up with a couple just like 1 dozen books from all of that, and I did discard probably like a couple dozen paper, which isn't amazing, but it's a lot easier to grow sugarcane than cows. I mean, it's not true. It is faster to scale up. Because as a guy who proudly has like 1,400 cows in the pen in my survival world just all the time, you could get a lot of cows. And once you have them, well, it's quite easy to replenish their numbers. But like everything else in the game, a lot of what is important is the scaling. Oh, would you like a wheat seed, old friend? No, he would not. He's just chilling. Do they eat melon slices once they're your friend? Well, he's on my shoulder. Oh, it even shows up in the thing there, so very nice. And this is what I envision whenever I think of Minecraft. Just playing on hardcore, but being a total coward. And staying here. Bashing melons. And thinking of what to do next. So, what to do next? Well, we already know. We're going to go and make some more cows. We're going to plant some more sugarcane. Gonna make an enchanting table set up. I don't know if I'm going to do all of that in this video. But I'll certainly be doing pieces of it. I need to see about leveling up the cleric a little bit. I could just buy a lot of redstone from him. Now that I've got this, full suit of armor, and plenty of axes, which are the most used tool by far for me because I need them to farm melons, which is pretty funny that the farmer needs most of all the axe to bash away at everything. But let's see if his trade's have replenished yet. They have. So we'll sell a couple of pumpkins. We're going to need to jam the melons together. I love the idea. Like, I love it so much that you would hit a melon with an axe, and then once you had several pieces of it, you would just sort of like jam them together and then take it to a guy who farms for a living and say, hey, would you like to buy this entirely legitimate watermelon? And he would say, what do you think about precious stones? And I would say, well, all right. So basically, no notes. What I do want to do is my typical thing, though. In the middle of my other plans, I just want to get some of these trees knocked down, gradually making it a much more open area so that we can get torch coverage down and have safety. Because every time that I'm just like messing around at nightfall and I gaze out over here, there's always the most wild things happening. And that ought not be happening. This should be a nice sleepy little village. Where are my axes? I've got just a bunch of random places of gear here, so I would have a chest over on this side with all of my axes in it. Yes, this chest. I need to be more careful about stuff, but yeah, good luck with that ever happening. We are still at stage 0, but I am gonna run home. Oh yeah, the mangrove. I forgot to get the mangrove. I'm going to try to grow the mangrove in a weird and awesome spot. I grew one in my survival world and it was boring, and then I grew one that was sort of like on a narrow strip of land, and it was really quite striking. So do I have dirt on me? No, we'll acquire it somewhere. We're just gradually going to make a little cactus thing there. Now, the problem with cactuses is they can hurt iron golems. They'll hurt villagers too, but I think villagers sort of like replenish their hit points over time, but iron golems get like satin cracked. So we're just going to go grab some bone meal. And then run right back, try to grow the cherry tree, and just brainstorm a little bit where I think a good place for this mangrove tree would be. Perhaps right over here, because yeah, I don't want to interrupt so much the space between my house and the village, but having a nice mangrove tree like right over here could be cool. So I'm going to just get a bit of dirt. We're not gonna need too much to do this. And we'll see if we can make it do the weird thing. So it just, it spidered around really weird and made a pretty sort of, it looked like it was on big legs, like well, you know, just like a mangrove can look. I don't know if you guys have ever seen mangroves in real life. They are quite lovely. I've probably talked about it before whenever I looked at it at least one time, but I have quite a fond memory of kayaking off the coast of Florida in the mangrove swamps. Really a great time if if you have the opportunity to do that, and it sounds like it could be vaguely interesting, I do very much recommend it. A beautiful natural area, and certainly not the sort of experience you can get any kind of way besides doing it. And I think... no, there's absolutely no point in non-formulaically farming, so if I'm gonna make another line, I should just make another line. And that means getting more dirt, but first, yeah, first things first, cherry tree synthesis. So we're just gonna run up, grab the bone meal. I left my clocks at home. I think I put both of the clocks together as if one wasn't enough, but maybe we'll have a kitten, and then we'll if they like, and then Garuda will have his little seed. It looks like, yes, my internal timer, even without the gold clocks, was not serving me poorly. And we'll let them walk around a bit, but we're not going anywhere. We're just going over to the furnace here. Or rather, not to the furnace, to the composter, because that is what it is. So it's just 7 bone meal. Did the bamboo clog it? The bamboo clogged it. The bamboo is not organic for the purpose of the composter. I should have anticipated that. But the good news is that, you know, it took all the stuff that was proper first. We definitely don't want to put in the pumpkin seeds, but we'll throw in all of those wheat seeds. And this is a good thing to do whenever you like sort of have all that you want of a particular kind of a seed or of a sapling or whatever. That way you still get something out of it. And another little melon seed, a delicious seed of melon for Garuda. No, yeah, there we go. You know, I've been away so long, and I'm sure they're missing Ajax, but well, you know, there will be many opportunities for happiness. Bella, you stay there. And they're just hanging out now. Is Garuda hungry again already? Well, probably, but you know, he'll wait a little while to eat anyway. So I'll just run over there, grab a couple of bone meal. I've got 27 emeralds still, so pretty nice. What to do? Yeah, I mean, the cherry tree beautification, that's... It's there! It's there! Cherry tree speedrun. Alright, what are the stats? We have played 0.54 days, and now we have grown a cherry tree. So that's actually pretty cool. We've done, you know, 12 hours of on this hardcore world. You know, how time flies, right? This is so fun. I actually haven't even opened my normal world. I play it either on peaceful or on hard. My survival world with the wheat field that you may be familiar with, that graces my dreams and makes me feel like everything I'm doing is for the right cause. Every time I think of my wheat field, I just smile a little bigger. But in a couple of weeks, I'll probably do another wheat field video, because I do, of course, constantly expand it, although not for a few days. So I think that'll be my trademark long term. That'll be how I try to draw the attention of people, by just every month showing off the wheat field, and then like everybody can marvel again at how much I like wheat. And I would say that it's getting comical, but it was already comical, and now it's just more of the beauty that it was. But I'm playing it up too much, and I also left some of that bone meal there. But I think, oh yeah, I also don't need it. I said I think. I know I don't need it. But I do want to remember that I was supposed to breed these cows real quick, so we're going to do that, and then cut down the cherry tree and plant a bunch more of them. Alright, I also need to deal with this situation. So the way I'm going to do that is we're just going to block off the entrance to the house, build out here, and then I'll sort of like do a lure on all the cows and try to get the people out that way. I might even like water the people out and do a lure on the cows and then just separate it from the house. I'm not going to do that right now, but I am going to do that in a bit. But it's nice to have some more cows coming up in line, and one day we'll be free of all of these trees. Sometimes it's like, I don't want to sound superstitious, but I feel like some of these trees, like, I've cut them down before. I'm like, how could I have not cut down these trees in particular if they were here? But we're going to cut down this whole cherry tree. Beauty of beauties. And the hoe is the good implement here. Now, you can actually cut down the cherry blossoms with shears. You can cut down any of the tree leaves with shears and get the leaves themselves. But for cherry blossoms, you can feed them to bees as if they're flowers, so that's pretty cool. And of course, they're quite lovely to build with as well, due to their striking beauty that everyone appreciates. There's so much to like about cherry trees and the way that they appear in the game. Normally, you know, I'm the color black kind of guy rather than the color pink kind of guy, but I do quite like making exceptions to any of my preferences if it seems like it's called for. And I think, yeah, so at this point all the wood's gone, so it will just start falling off. But doing this speeds it up just a little bit, and it looks like we got an absolute ton of saplings. Oh yeah, 8 saplings out of one tree, and then there's all of those that are going to fall later. So, in conclusion, there's about to be a lot of cherry trees going around. So, where is the most important place for a cherry tree to be? Now, I would say it's like in the distance. I think like the inspiring beauty of cherry trees far away is like one of the most important places for a cherry tree to be, because having them like right next to you is fine, but when you go down and like you see them, or like it gets like a backdrop of a snowy mountain, that's another good one. But since we don't have a snowy mountain, we're going to go out into this distance. Now, I know that in the savannah, the sort of scaling of colors is a little different, right? But we're going to put one like right here just to see how that looks there. And then we're going to go further in this area and put a few on this little ridge. And this will just be a nice, beautiful thing to see from far away when they eventually grow, which of course they may not since I'm not around. But if they don't for too long, I'll just run over and bone meal them furiously. Because really this is just about like making the plan so that I don't forget the eventual aspect of it, because you can sort of see them from super far away because the pink shows up well. But I know from previous cherry sapling planting that they don't just automatically grow with time. You have to be close enough to them. And of course they have the various other conditions that I mentioned about the vertical space on them, but I think we'll have one there. One here, and then we'll do one there on that sort of ridge line here at the top as well. Because they can make it sort of hard to see around them. I mean, all trees sort of inhibit, you know, visibility. One of the wonderful things about them is that they can get into your way. But we'll run back over here, and this cherry sapling will have finished, or rather, the cherry tree will have finished dropping the leaves into saplings by the time we return. So everything is working out wonderfully. Just a good time. So accordingly, time to start thinking about the enchanting table, although we're not going to build it in this video. You know, like, where's the biggest priority? I would be inclined to say, okay, did none of that drop saplings? Alright, maybe relying on them to drop saplings is less likely than when you hit it with the tool yourself, because well, there's one. But it seemed like we hit several more going the other way. But we're just going to, bam, hit another tree. Super easy. And run down the villager, sell some stuff. No, we don't have enough of that. Back to the cows. Back to the cows. We will work on the cows a little bit, which principally is going to mean not doing anything with the cows, but of course actually just messing around with the cow pen. There is some fencing already built in one of these chests, although we could obviously just make more. Which, after leaving some supplies to make more, is just what we'll do. But I need to... I didn't need to make the cherry wood, but... we'll make a gate. Yes, we'll make a couple of gates. And then that'll, maybe a door also, and a few doors. All right, now all we have to do is build a way to make this cow pen practical. So, planks, we're just going to do the thing where we don't care at all about building out of various kinds of materials or about practical ones. And actually need rather a lot of cows, so I'm building this maybe a little bigger than I need it to be. Certainly bigger than I need it to be, but that'll be alright. This is really just to give me an access point, and then I will break this. They'll... No. See, now I'm torn. Like, do I actually need to make it bigger to separate it from the house? Well, you know, this can be something else if I decide that I didn't need to make it bigger. What a chump. At least we've got nice pink wood here. Alright, so if we just break this, all the cows are going to immediately run out, right? Yes. But... yeah, I don't think they can actually get out of here, right? And if they just sort of spread out a little bit, then we can knock this whole thing down to the dirt layer. All right, yeah. Now we've got it secure enough to where we can go down. Yes, wonderful. So the idea here is now that we'll just break down the whole level and use, instead of like a proper wall, probably just like, you know, those blocks. We'll leave that fence post floating in the air, because of course we will. And then now we'll crack a hole in the wall here so that this guy can get out, and we will put wheat into our hand to attract all of the cows from running out. Then I'll remember it's nighttime, which has real consequences, so we're going to cause a jailbreak. Anyway, oh my goodness. I'm gonna fall asleep here blocking the door. That's what's going on. I'm merely describing it. We're gonna break the bed now. And I think they should just all come back inside here, so the golem might end up staying. We're just gonna close that door until we get the rest of this sorted out. Okay, so a list of things we don't need is all of this material here. So we're just going to free the iron golem, not hit the iron golem. He won't care if we hit cows, but he will definitely care if we hit him. Yeah, so we're just going to do what we should have done a long time ago and just entirely remove this this door to the house. They don't need that door. What, you really want to walk out of your back door directly and see a bunch of cows? We'll just put them on top of the smoker. That's not ominous. It's probably only for decoration. But all of this working's gotten me hungry, so time to just pull the shovel out. And nothing is more agonizing than having a multi-layer farm. Don't I know that just from experience? So we're going to attempt to solve that here. And I basically don't think anybody can get I don't think anything can get over a 2-block wall. And as I say that, this villager just hops right on over from the other side. So I will need to both push them off and build a fence to keep people from... I'm not for the first time frustrated with the choices of the beautiful people of Minecraft. Like, what? Why are you up here? Please, please, sir. Thank you. Alright, and here we run into another mistake, so we should just... Alright, so there's that, and now we need to drop down this level one more so that we can equalize the rest. But this is getting closer and closer into being an intelligently designed farm, which I could have just built without cows in the middle of it, and would have greatly simplified things, but that is not the story that I'm here to tell you today. Oh no. In my quest to build an intelligent farm, I have done the unthinkable and thrown all of my fencing upon the ground. You're going to want to get out of that pit. You are messing up the flow. Y'all. Okay. Something you may have noticed about me is that if something very slightly goes wrong, it can get under my skin. I was about to start this whole cow herd over. But, you know, happily, that's not going to be necessary. Everything is okay. We are going to make sure to put several torches around here. Last thing that we want is some sort of foe spawning inside. And what we're going to do now is just cunningly build a door here. And by a door, I mean a gate, and I think this will work just normally as a gate. Please. Anyway. Yeah, do you want to go back inside now? Now would you like to go back in? What a terrible person. Anyway, what we're going to do now is just build a little bit of more fencing here. It's very important both to not be building on like a weird level like I'm doing here, because then you have to do 2 levels of fencing, but you don't want to make it where you only have 1 entrance. You want it to be an entrance and then another entrance. And that is going to make it so that people aren't tempted to walk in and out of it. And by people, in this case, I mean cows. Come on, little guy. Oh, you stuck there now? That's okay. You know what? Just roam. I'm sure nothing bad will ever happen. Alright, so this is a terrible, terrible entrance. I've made a huge, tiny mistake. A couple of things. Alright, so what I'm going to do is clear up some of these cows, because that is the only thing to do. I need a larger entranceway. It's longer, rather. And then... We'll just come back for this later. We'll just come back for this later. So basically, having a gate there and a gate there and being so close together, all of that's a bad idea. This whole thing is just like totally cockamamie. It might be dumber than my cow farm in my survival world, which is just like, I can't believe I'm saying that because it is a very dumb cow pasture. Like, one of the most ludicrous attempts at making sense that I've ever seen. But, you know, you'll reflect not for the first time that I don't know what I'm doing, which has probably never been more clear than me trying to build this cow pasture in front of people. But it's alright. It'll be alright. I mean, it's not alright, but it's gonna be alright. What I should have done is this. I should have just built a thing over here. Like, after all that, I'm probably gonna do this. I'm just gonna build a literal cow pasture out here to the side, like a normal, functional farmer would. And then I'll just lead them all over to it. How annoying. But, you know, part of Minecraft is how you come to appreciate good practices, right? So I'm not gonna get too down on myself just for taking a while to come to the intelligent conclusion. Because really, like, what possible utility would I be getting from building the way that I was? And it would be better if this was symmetrical, but this is okay too. And we'll just build it a little backwards from how I normally would, just because it doesn't matter. And all of this is like, every single thing that I'm doing here is not how I would choose to build if I was thinking, but I'm not thinking, I'm just playing. So, more sticks, more planks, more fencing that doesn't match. I think we just need to knock down some more trees. Because even with all this non-matching fencing, I don't know if this is going to be quite big enough of a fenced-in area. No, I mean, yeah, there's plenty. Can fit every cow in the world in here. Yeah, we'll just have a cow jailbreak and lead them over here. Right now? Yeah, might as well be right now. We'll just put some torches up. I just need one more gate. Yeah, I just need one more gate. Fortunately, I'm at that place in my village where I have a crafting table absolutely everywhere. So we'll just cut down a bit of tree. I swear, I know I was just on about this, but I feel like the villagers are like planting trees in their spare time or something. Because I know they can plant crops, so is it like they're bored, they don't have jobs, they're just like screwing up my fields. Like, hey, you left these saplings on the ground, I couldn't help but notice. I just thought I'd put them right back down where you left them. See how you felt about it. But this is going to satisfy the twin prongs of our desire. One, to alleviate the pain that these trees are causing me by constantly existing and being in my sightline. And secondarily, but also important, to get me enough of the wood to build plenty of stuff, to get more charcoal, do all of the objective setting stuff that I've sort of grown to expect of myself. But all of that can wait for slightly later, because this video draws on, and I think it'll be a good time for me to call it for a little bit. We'll burn that down into an iron nugget. We're just gonna throw our ersatz junk in there. Get some of these seeds for a little more bone meal. And the beautiful particle effects. Oh, look at all the cherry trees. See, that one in the savannah doesn't look too washed out, at least at nighttime. But definitely beyond happy with the achievements of the day. Yep, and after all that, we can just run through. A little bit of sugarcane farming. It's a bit dark there. A drowned zombie. Any more around? Tried to have learned my lesson. I know that my beach over here is pretty safe. Yeah, he looks alone. Because it certainly seems like... Because they're not even that fast, right? Their principal danger... Because even a zombie on land moves quicker than that relative to your movement speed. But their principal danger is just like the clunkiness of moving in water, it seems. Just the general vulnerability that you have, because it's hard to move around and you have to worry about breath and all the stuff like that. And of course, sometimes they throw spears at you. I'm thinking, no, we don't want to get rid of the melon seeds. We'll just toss random stuff in here, because of course we will. And then whenever we cycle the furnace back in, we'll switch it around. But right now, still got a good bit of that to do, and it'll be time to lay down for the night. Y'all can run around a little bit. I know Garuda's hungry. So what we're doing now is just, you know, what I call macroing up. We've got 43 emeralds, which is a good amount. There's a lot of different things that we can be doing. But I might as well just make the table now, although we'll set it in a later episode. How do I make it? I thought the enchanting table was just 2 emeralds. Oh, and a book. Obviously, you gotta have the book. So, amazing achievement. Now we've got our enchanting table. Oh, and a new little member of the family. Well, I think we're going to send them out, and they're going to guard our cherry trees and fields after this video. But for right now, it's time to lay down for the night. And, you know, until the next time, just wanted to say thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Oh, it started with a little pink collar, so you can tell that Bella is their mom. Very, very cool. She's got her father's eyes, though. But, yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, you know, thanks for listening. I really do hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode where we'll bring these cats down to the fields, and we'll gaze out at more of our cherry trees. What a wondrous achievement. It's already feeling so much more like home. And we'll get some, we'll go and plant them on that ridge over there. And that'll be the real moment when we look out over there. So we'll be able to look in that direction and see them. Maybe even a couple over there. I'm not sure. You might think there's a level at which you can overload on cherry trees, but I've not found it yet. You might think there's a level at which I will stop rambling after I promise to end the video and actually do it. And that is right now. So, until next time.